Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from NIGHTCARVER Designs, and today on the show I have Sam from Woolly Petals Wood Co. And Sam is really fun. She's goofy and just like a really good time, which I love and adore. So we got along really well right away and have been chatting for about a year or so, maybe even more, who knows. And I wanted to have her on, and I really wanted to have Leslie from Oak and Feather come on and be the guest host, because I know those two have an incredible relationship with each other. I knew already that Leslie inspired Sam, so it was just something that I thought would be like the perfect pairing, and it really was a fun night. We have recorded, I think we had like 30 extra minutes of recording, and I chopped that up and did a 15-minute Patreon special. So if you go to patreon.com/makerconversations, you can join, and for $5 a month you'll get some extra bonus content, not on every episode, but I try to do my best to get it over there. So if you'd like to support, please head on over there and check that out. And then just a big shout out to Sabretooth for constantly supporting me and just being a great partner. If you're looking for another podcast to listen to, Carver Conversations is a show that I have with them where we're highlighting different wood carvers and makers that we love, and we really appreciate what they do out there. So check that out, and use NIGHTCARVER10 at checkout in all caps if you are going to grab some burrs and you want to learn how to carve. All right, enjoy the episode.
Thank you for joining us. We just stalked you a little bit, as tradition calls for.
Oh, a little bit of stalking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tiff scrolled all the way back to the very first post that you ever made.
That's cute.
Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, no, I don't remember exactly, but I figure it's probably just felt flowers, right?
Mm-hmm. Like on
what
a
was
headband.
it?
It was like on a headband. Yeah.
And they were red. It was like a red flower.
Oh, yes. So that's like totally how my little Woolly Petals adventure started, which is kind of funny.
Tell us more. Yes.
Sure. So I've been making felt flowers for a long time, just because I like to make crafts and everything. But when COVID hit, all that shit hit the fan. My neighbor, my lovely old neighbor, she's like, "Oh, our ranch center is having a little craft sale. You should make something and come and sell." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'd love to," kind of bored. And then COVID shut down, so we couldn't have the craft sale. This was like Christmas time. So I had all these little headbands that I made. And before this, I had an Instagram account, like my personal account, never went on, maybe once a month. Never went on Instagram, but something told me to make an account. And the way I came up with my business name was like, "Oh, I wonder if anybody has Woolly Petals." I was like, "Oh no." Well, the funny thing is there is another one, but I'll get to that later. So I'm Woolly with one L. Anyway, yeah, so I posted my stuff on there. Nobody bought it, of course, but that's kind of how it all started. And then started finding there's other felt makers and this and that. So yeah, you're seeing the first. Yeah.
We were talking about you starting off with the flowers, but how did you get into the wood?
Okay. Yeah. So I was making flowers. They were going well. And then I kind of want to make these flowers, but for little girls' nursery rooms. On letters, right? Like big monograms. And I started pricing out these letters. I went to Michael's, Amazon, the only places I shop, I suppose. And they're pretty pricey. So I was like, once I buy this letter and put my flowers on it, people aren't going to buy this from me.
Yeah.
So I asked my husband, Tom, Tom, there's got to be some kind of tool I can use to cut out letters out of wood myself. And he's like, I think that's a scroll saw, maybe. I don't know. I'd never heard of a scroll saw before. At this point, I've never even touched a power tool. Maybe a drill, but probably not even. So he buys this cheap $100 scroll saw from Amazon. And we tried it and it worked. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so cool. But it was also so difficult.
Yeah.
So I took to Instagram where I had been starting like the snooping with the felt, and like I typed in scroll saw, and guess who pops up?
Leslie?
No way. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. So I'm like, who's this oak and feather chick? Like she's super cool and she's really good at this. And so I'm like following her like
Agreed.
crazy. And yeah, little did I know you're the best person alive. But that's
Oh,
right.
stop. She is though, right?
So, oh, she so is. She
Okay,
so
we're talking to Sam.
Let's talk about how lovely Leslie is some more. No.
This podcast just pivoted. So actually, Les is the reason I got a DeWalt scroll saw as well, because I was just so frustrated with mine. It had a small tabletop. It had a really big opening where the blade goes in, and it was just catching all my wood. And I'm like, it's got to be easier than this. So we went and upgraded pretty quick after purchasing the $100 one. And it was a game changer. And I think I like DM'd Les a couple times. And I'm like, hey, like, can you help me? I don't know. And you were always so great. I mean, I've probably one of the 30 DMs you get in a day, but yeah, so that's why I have a DeWalt.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You hear that, DeWalt Canada?
Yeah.
Keep sending her some tools.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, right?
Yeah. So that's a question I get a lot too, though, is like when you start on the scroll saw, a lot of people think it's going to be like super easy because it kind of looks easy when you see other people doing it. But how long do you think it took you to feel like comfortable, like to sell your stuff? Like how long do you think it took you to get there?
It didn't take that long, to be honest. Because like I said, I was doing basic things, letters. My first letter that I cut out was a letter V, and I just like drew it out myself for my niece Vivian, and like, oh, like this is cool, I did it. So I cut it. It was horribly not straight and it took me forever to sand. I'm like, man, maybe I should go and buy these letters from Michael's, because like time versus doing the project. But so if I continued with that king, it would have taken me a long time to learn how to do it properly, cutting cursive and everything. But once I got on a DeWalt, I did a couple of your little templates less and then like ran with it. So it was pretty fast, I'd say. A month or so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Trying to avoid making Leslie cry, but that's pretty awesome that you inspired her to do that, and she used your templates. Pretty dope.
I know. I tell her that all the time. I'm like, dude, like I used to have such a big crush on you. I looked at all your stuff.
Who doesn't have a crush on Leslie? Come on.
I know. Oh,
you're gonna make me blush. You guys are so funny. Okay. Enough about me. I want to hear more about your felt flowers though, because before you jumped on, Tiff and I were like, and I made up a word. I was like, I don't know if Sam was like in floristry. I don't know if that's the word or not. But like the level of detail in your flowers, it seems like you know a lot about flowers. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, how did you learn how to do that? Because that's like, you're the only person I personally follow and know that makes felt flowers that look like actual real flowers.
100%.
Oh, shucks. No, I'm blushing. Okay, I like this podcast now. This is fun. Yeah. Okay, so fair. And I appreciate the compliment. It's definitely come a long way. I'm sure you can see the evolution of my flowers from the beginning to where they are now. Yes, to answer your question, floristry has been in my life. I don't know if that's a real word either,
Oh.
but it sounds so good. And
We
I
couldn't
can't think of
an
the
alternative.
Right? It's like artistry, floristry. It's like,
Yeah.
I think we're going to Google it before we're done, and it's a word.
Okay, deal. So let me think. When I was little, my mom had a family friend, who kind of became the aunt.
Mhm.
She had a flower shop. She did weddings all the time, and I would spend evenings there, playing around. She used to let me like hot glue
Awesome.
dried flowers onto whatever I wanted and play around. But I learned a lot from there, just being immersed in it, right?
Mhm.
Then in high school, I worked at a grocery store in the flower department,
Yeah.
Cool.
putting together like bouquets, not arranging, but literally like a guy would come and say, I want roses for my wife, and I'd put the paper on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I worked in a garden center, and like gardening is definitely a passion of mine. So
Good eye, Leslie. You
Cool.
caught that right
Thanks.
away, because she was like literally like pointing out all the anatomy that you hit. Because seriously, all the fine details are there, and it's out of felt. It's really impressive.
oh,
Like, especially if you're like Tiff, Sam and I are both scrollers, and you do a lot of like your carving and all that stuff. So I'm sure you see kind of similar posts that we do when we're scrolling through Instagram, and like
Mhm.
I see a million flowers a day because it's just so popular. Like everybody
Right.
wants flowers on their signs, like wood ones or fabric ones or felt ones or whatever. And like, not to pump your tires, but honestly, yours, sometimes when I'm looking at your stuff, I'm like, that looks like a real flower. Like it doesn't even look like a fake flower. I don't know how you do it. So it's like, it's pretty cool. I figured you had some kind of floral in your past, because I was like, nobody pays that close attention to detail if you don't
oh.
really like flowers, because that's crazy.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. And I appreciate that so much. But yeah, I think when it comes to like my arranging of the florals on a sign, that definitely came with the practice of playing.
Mhm.
Because it is actually, it's hard to do that. You
It
can
is.
make a felt flower, you can make a detailed one, but how do you make them look nice together?
Yeah.
So, and then Les, just to cut you off real quick, did you know that Tiff was also a scroller?
I was.
Did you scroll saw?
I did. Yeah, yeah.
No way.
But I did it like at the same time that I was hand carving, and I did a ton of owls and things like that when I first started. Yeah, all like scroll sawed.
No way. I'm gonna have to scroll back because I remember when
not
I
on my
first started following you,
page.
you were like, it's not on your page?
No, it's on my Facebook.
Maybe that's why I didn't.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook. Yeah. I was one of those people who was super late to Instagram. I was still posting on Facebook like a fool. And then I was like, oh, I should go to Instagram.
It's for sure, Tiff. The first time I saw you, you were like
Hand
carving
carving
with a router. Yeah.
Yep.
Like it was wild.
I do still
so cool.
scroll. Yeah. I have the same scroll saw as you guys as well, because it's just awesome. So
multi-talented people.
Oh,
right. Yeah. I didn't know if you knew that about Tiff. It's like, it's some dark secret that she hides in her past. But if anybody needs to know, Les needs to know this. So
it's true. I did. I started off scrolling.
I love it.
And making the growth charts.
Oh yeah, cool.
I was one of the growth chart girls too, for sure. That was one of my first things. Yep.
I still make those.
I did that with wood. Well, no, I know, but I like the wood burning. Like I was just like not like you guys do, like just wood burning each little detail in.
Gosh,
it's awful.
You wood burned every line?
Every
like
line. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
The smoke is burning my eyes, and I'm not even doing it.
And that's why I stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the burn with wood with my laser.
Yeah.
I have to do that. Not that anybody can see us.
Laser.
Yeah. That's Dr. Evil.
They can watch it though, can't they?
They can watch it. Yeah.
So somebody might see you.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Almost burned down my fucking house with my laser the other day.
I have a fire extinguisher right there because I'm gonna start playing with this tomorrow, and I'm like,
hey!
I know it's about time. But like, I'm like, just
wait, do you have a laser too? I feel left out now.
Oh,
I bought it before everybody got them. Now everybody has them. I just haven't touched it. It's been sitting there since April 1st. And I haven't touched it.
No
yet.
way.
Yeah.
I feel like once a month I just randomly message Tiff and I'm like,
Yes.
hey, did you use your laser yet?
You're not the only one. That's why I'm like, every once in a while I'll story about it. Like, it'll be touched soon. It'll be touched soon.
That's
Like,
so funny.
I've
But
been
Sam, you
busy.
just got yours and you've already been using it, right?
Yes, yeah.
Her.
For little things, like I'm learning. It's definitely a learning curve, but it's really fun. So I had this like whole debacle with my CNC router, which like discouraged me, wanted me to throw everything out the window. So this laser's been really nice for me.
Good.
Finally a win.
Cool. Do you have plans for like how you're gonna integrate laser stuff with your current business? Like, are you gonna do less scrolling and more felt flowers, or like you're gonna mix it all together? Like, what are do you have plans, or are you just gonna play around?
Yeah, like okay, so I have half plans and I'm half winging it for sure.
Yeah.
Because the laser is something I always wanted, like as a long-term goal.
Yeah.
But this one popped up on Kijiji, which Tiff might not know what that is. It's like a Craigslist.
I only know
Yeah.
because you told me about it the other day.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Wait,
yeah, fair enough.
Kijiji is only in Canada?
Yeah,
Learning
Yeah.
so much.
I know, right? So one popped up on Kijiji and it's 3 hours away. It was a great price. So my husband's like, should we do it? Like, I think we should do it.
Awesome.
So it kind of scared me when it got here because I'm like, I'm not ready for this in terms of like, I see some people get their lasers and they're already throwing shit out for sale. And I'm like, well, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of learning. It is. Hence why I
yeah.
haven't done it yet. I'm like, I can't.
Yes. No, but it's good. Also, I'm the kind of person that if I get a tool, I unbox it and I like throw the manual across the room and I just start using it.
Yeah.
And my husband is the opposite. He's like reads every page and then reads it in the other language and then begins. So he's like, Sam, you're going to sit down. I found you this whole YouTube series. There are 4 lessons, they're 20 minutes each. You're going to watch them all and then you can play.
Good for him.
That was
That's
actually
awesome.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He set
So
boundaries
did the
with you.
lessons actually help?
Oh, yeah. The lessons were awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, because now I have the base of it. And now when I like want to do something particular, I can just kind of YouTube how to do this one particular piece.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So no, it's awesome.
But how did you start a fire then?
I'll show you.
He's asking all the good questions here.
Oh, she's like, I almost burnt my shop down, but I know how to use it. I'm like, something's
Yeah.
not adding up.
So I started cutting before I tested. So there's like basically what you have to learn about your laser, not to get into it, is speed and power.
Mhm.
And that teaches you how to cut through any depth and any material. But Lightburn has this awesome feature where you literally throw any sheet in, like this is 3/8, and it'll cut it at different strengths and speeds.
Mhm.
And then you learn like, oh, okay, like here's where it stopped cutting because it's not strong enough kind of thing, right? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It went too slow there.
A little bit too
and-
slow there.
Yeah. So because it was so slow, it was just burning on one spot. And I'm looking at Tom and I'm like, is that on fire? Is that on fire? He's like, I think that's on fire. So my laser has a big like cartoon like emergency stop.
Yep,
Does yours too?
it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, hit the stop. So he did. And whew, good thing. I mean, it's so isolated that even if the whole thing lit on fire, I've got like the ventilation blowing it all. And I don't think there would have been anything. It was just kind of funny. It's like, okay, I wanted to know what would happen if things lit on fire. It did. And it was okay.
Yeah.
This is kind of like worst case scenario. That's out of the way. Now
Yeah.
you know how to avoid it. Okay.
That's
That's
it.
cool.
Exactly.
Leslie asked you a question earlier, and I think we didn't hit it yet because I am curious. She asked you kind of like how long from getting the scroll saw to actually selling your products, like how long did it take you to feel confident?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I made that V for Vivian. That was a gift. And then right after that, I had an order from a neighbor. And I
Nice.
think I was like, just give me $5. I want to cut it for you because I just want to do it. So I made her like an H. She was my first sale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that counts. And then I had an old neighbor reach out and she actually paid me money. So like that was my first sale of a letter.
That's awesome. So it happened pretty quick. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it did happen pretty quick.
I think it takes people to push you sometimes too, like because they're like, I like that. Make me one. And it's like, oh shoot. The nerves start going.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. The
How long
imposter
do you-
syndrome starts
Yeah.
filling your
Yeah.
veins.
Yeah.
How long was it until you got like a stranger sale, like somebody that didn't know you, or like you didn't know how they found you? Like what, how long do you think that
Gosh.
was?
Good question. I'm gonna think like my first Instagram sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably probably like in the summer, 6 months later.
And was
Maybe?
it like one of the
Awesome.
letters too?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it was. Actually, it was sooner than that because my neighbor who I did the $5 one for, her friend asked me for a letter. And then I was like, well, this is my business. So here's
Yeah.
your price.
That's so cool. And then it just like snowballed from there, like getting.
Yeah, it
Oh.
actually did. It started snowballing. It was awesome. And, because I think it was like a combination of reaching out to people, like networking on
Mhm.
Instagram, and then your stuff just starts getting seen. This was before Reels, right? So I don't know how people were actually seeing stuff. I guess on the For You page, like that, or no, what do you call their page? The search page,
Explore.
Oh yeah.
Explore
Yes.
page, I think.
Yeah,
Or
maybe
for
that's how
people you
people were finding it.
follow that share other people too. That was always a way to find other people when other accounts. that
Yeah,
she
that's a
shared
good point.
accounts. Yeah. I found a lot of people
That's
that
so
way.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. And I still do every day.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, somebody is like advocating for you. Then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come look at your page. So
Mhm. Right.
I love that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have to
agree.
say the woodworking community is way more supportive and outgoing than the felt community. But I have found some felt people who, I've like friended, but the woodworking community was such a game changer for me. So
I
That's
feel
so
like it's
interesting.
so many of us do this, like the content creation portion of it. Whereas like other things like felt, maybe it's more like, here's a photo of my product and I'm selling this. But like woodworkers, we're constantly recording ourselves as well. Like we're acting in our things. And so I don't know. I think
well,
we
yeah,
just like, we want to
exactly.
encourage each other. I think that's like where a lot of it comes from, at least for me. I'm like, look at them putting themselves out there. I'm like, I'm gonna go comment, So I love
It's
seeing it.
so true.
Yeah.
Whereas, there's more competition, I'd say, with the felt community, because we were all, I was selling the same thing as them. We're all making felt flower headbands.
Yep.
So that's a very niche
Mm-hmm.
piece. But so actually, another fun fact about me is my business used to just be called Woolly Petals.
I was gonna ask you
and
about that.
Yeah. So I changed it pretty recently. I was super hesitant. I thought, should I change my name completely?
Mm-hmm.
I asked a bunch of maker friends, what should I do? Because I started to get into scrolling so much and my work just like evolved to this beautiful marriage between felt flowers and wood. And it was kind of different. I was having a hard time finding people who also did this kind of thing. But I wanted wood in my name somehow. So, started writing out so many different names that were nothing like this. And somebody's like, well, why don't you just be Woolly Petals Wood Co? Like, you know what? That's actually super clever because it's still who I was and it's who I am now.
Yeah. No, I remember one of your names. You had a poll in your stories.
Yeah.
And one of them was meadow, and it was a tree. And I had no idea what the word meant. It was like those yellow trees.
Larch.
What's that tree? Larch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your name was Meadow and Larch. That was one of the options. And I was like, what the fuck guess I'll lurch.
Oh, you remember that? That's cute.
I feel like that's one of our first like connections, because I was like, that can't be your name, because I don't know what that means.
I do not like it.
I don't like
Well,
it.
I appreciate your honesty, even from that early on in our relationship.
It's
I mean, like,
important.
Larch. It's like lurch.
I know it's an ugly
I don't
name.
love that word.
But in the larch's defense, it is a beautiful, not evergreen tree. It's some type of species of pine. And in
Yeah.
fact, people travel to Alberta because the larch, there's a huge sort of valley where larch grow. They don't grow all over the province, but in this one particular area, they do. And in the fall, they all turn yellow and their little needles fall off. And it is just so special and beautiful.
Magnificent.
Yeah. But
Are you
so
in Alberta?
specific,
I feel like
like,
You're in Alberta?
Sorry?
Are you in Alberta?
yes.
Oh my God. There's so many good artists over there, including you. But like you got
Oh.
Kendra Damrad, and then you got Ryan Villiers. He's a chainsaw artist. Dude's amazing. All right over there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No way, Tiff. You'll have to share those with me later because
Yeah.
I'm always eager to find makers in my area.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I got excited. I'm like, I know some other people I can connect you with.
Yeah. Fun fact, Tiff. I'm actually from the province where Leslie lives in Ontario.
Oh, really? That's funny. What
Yeah.
brought you over
so
there?
we moved to Alberta 6 months before COVID. My husband got a job that moved us here. The head office, he's kind of in oil and gas, and Alberta is the like oil and gas province of Canada. So we had to come to where their head office was. And then 6 months later, we shut down. So we didn't even get to like explore much. It was really
man.
weird. Yeah. Like, I want to go home.
Well, I will definitely give you those makers' names, and then at least you know you have some people closer to you too.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yeah.
I love that.
So speaking of your husband, it sounds like he's been like pretty supportive of like what you're doing. Like what kind of role has he taken in like pushing you to do what you're doing now? Because I imagine like this wasn't what you did before, right? So maybe like, how did you transition into this, and like who supported you?
Oh, cool.
It's a
Good
big question.
It is.
Yeah.
You do
That's
need
a lot.
support. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, he is, first of all, he is so supportive. In fact, he was like me, never went on Instagram, but he like reopened his Instagram account, and he just like he has my notifications on his phone. So like the second I post something, he likes it, he saves it, he shares it to me, and then he comments on it. Everything, like the dumbest
Aw.
reels I post, he's jumping on them. He's so great. And he is like the reason I purchased all these tools, because I wasn't making any money. So it's his money going towards this, which, we thought would just be a hobby and a passion. And most of it is, like, he calls me a not-for-profit, but that's a whole other,
I'm assuming you're undercharging.
Yeah. Some would say. Look at Leslie.
She's gonna explode.
Yeah. I feel like we
it's
need
something that we're all guilty of, by the way, including myself still. But it's a hard thing.
Yeah.
Pricing's hard.
Oh, absolutely. And I also have this like very strong unpopular opinion that you don't get to charge the prices until you put in the work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like even when I first started scrolling, you were asking me, when was I selling my pieces? Well, if I sold the piece that I made then for like the price I sell it for now, it's like that doesn't translate the same. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said,
But
that's
you have-
probably a very
I feel like, off note, you have put in the work that you can charge.
I was gonna
You're
say
not just
there.
starting. You're like almost 2 years in now. You are 2 years in now. So you have earned those stripes, so to speak. Continue.
That's true. No, you're right. No. And I'm doing so good. It's like I hope none of my customers are listening to this, but I feel like every time I quote something, it always gets like $50 more expensive.
I feel like that's how everyone does it though.
You have
Like
to.
that's how I did it too, right? Like,
yeah,
until somebody starts saying no, then maybe you've gone a bit too far. But like, you want some people to say no, right? Like, you can't make them all. So
yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling Sam this morning that I got the largest sale I've ever had today. And it was on something that I wasn't
That's so
intending on
cool.
selling. I wasn't trying to sell those Ninja Turtles that I'm making. And somebody spent $1,600 on Ninja Turtles today. And I was just like, yeah, I was just
That's crazy.
floored. I was just like, something that I like was not like, this was not going to be a product. Granted, I did make templates that I could carve on the CNC just in case it was going to be a product.
Nice.
So I have that. But like, yeah, I was just like, what the hell? Because you kind of don't know when that's going to happen. But my husband gave me a price and I added $75 to that price because I was like, no, I can't, not yet. So like it sold at a price that I was comfortable with instead of undercharging to try to get the sale, you know, because I'm like,
Oh,
it's
so
something that's
proud of
hard.
you.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
It's beautiful. And also
Exciting.
really, Tiff, like you didn't think that those would pique interest. They are the coolest shits
Like, so
ever.
cool.
I think it's because I have a limited amount of wood that I wasn't planning on selling them. Like I only have 10 boards. So it was just going to be a
Yeah.
special series for my house, you know? And now I'm desperately
Right.
trying to find that wood. I like contacted the guy I got it from and he's looking.
What is so special about that wood? I can't really figure it out.
You want to
watching
see
your
my
stuff.
wood?
You know I do.
Yes.
Would I?
Would you?
Yeah.
It's curved like a tiki
Oh,
pole.
cool.
Yeah. So when I'm
Oh.
carving it, I'm carving a curved surface. Yeah.
I see.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like how you can't just find that.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it from? Like a
I
barrel
asked
or
them,
something?
it's
Like what?
yeah, like an electric wire spool. So it's like a big giant spool, and those are the centerpieces.
No way.
Oh
Yeah. So it's not something you just go find.
no, definitely not. But you know what though? People use those spools as like DIY backyard
Tables, yeah.
tables.
I have one in my house. It's not that big, obviously, but it's like that big. But the center isn't that tall, right? So
Oh,
those are
okay.
you're looking at like the massive, massive
Those are
ones.
29 inches. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
that would be like some crazy cable.
Yeah,
Man,
exactly.
I'm trying to think where you'd have to like reach out.
I started
cable
looking up
companies?
exactly
Like,
when I asked the guy what it was. I started like searching for it. I'm like, I'm never gonna find this because none of the spools look like this. So I'm like,
no.
so I put on the website. I'm like, will be made out of cedar. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not getting my 10 pieces of wood.
No, that's the precious stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about that wood, Tiff, literally everybody would throw that away. That'd go right into everyone's scrap pile.
Yeah. Yep.
What else could you use those for?
I bought them to make tiki poles. When I saw, like, I went to this guy's house 4 years ago and I saw, he goes, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever gone to like a guy who does wood collection and sells it on Facebook Marketplace, but they always have
Yeah.
something special to show you when you go there. And he's like, look at this, look at this. Would you be interested in these? And I'm like, oh, dude, I can make tiki poles. Like I didn't like Ninja Turtles wasn't the thing that I was focusing on, but I was just like, those could make tiki poles. So I'm like, give me all of them. And there's only 10 and they were only $1 a board. Like, I
Yeah.
got them so cheap. So
Man, that guy felt so good about himself. He's like, I duped her so hard. Like, what is she gonna do with, these
do with
pieces?
this.
Little
So you
did we
turned
know.
$10 into almost $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just got to put the work in now.
Yeah. I mean, that's worth
Yeah.
it. But
Oh,
yeah,
100%,
that's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Man, the way you paint those. I mean, I always admire your paint work because, you know,
Thank
being
you.
on the gram, you see so much.
Yeah.
And just on a quick side note, it's funny being from this perspective versus being like a customer perspective of like what they scroll Instagram and what we do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like Tiff's paint, First of all, I can always recognize it. Like even when you show up on my discovery page, I'm like, oh, that's a Tiff piece. And I love that you show up on there.
Thank you. I know I did. That's cool.
Oh yeah, you get on there. Reels and posts. But just your detail is so amazing. And it's just like so nostalgic. And it always hits me right in my tummy. And I always comment how much I love it. And I hope you know that like I'm genuinely so stoked about your pieces.
I appreciate it. I hit those nerdy people real good.
Yeah.
Horror
I think she
fans.
just called you a nerd.
Oh yeah, she's a nerd.
Yeah.
I do.
100%.
Did you hear her talking about those flowers earlier in that tree?
Nerding out on larches. Yeah.
But I also said that I'm one too, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You
I think
nerds
most
are the new
creative
cool.
people would classify themselves in like a nerdy category or like the weird.
Yeah, we're all the weirdos.
Totally.
Your brain works differently, right?
Mhm.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I feel like I just
eclectic
need to call
mind.
you Larch from now on. Now.
Oh, that sounds like Adam's family. Isn't his name Larch?
Lurch.
Yeah.
Larch.
Don't call me Larch, okay?
Okay, fine. Sam.
Yeah,
Sam.
I like that.
I think one of the reasons that I followed you, besides like how cool your work was because of the faces that you make in your posts. And I just wanted to say I genuinely love them.
Oh my God, I'm such a loser.
What are your smiles now? Like pretend you're holding a sign and how would you pose for a picture?
Yeah, see?
Ta-da!
I was actually, so Tiff asked me to send her some pictures, I guess, for like the promo. And I found so many where I'm like this. It's just like, I hate who you are, Sam. But no,
Once in a while, before you get all dirty, just snap a few photos. Just snap a few photos. You have to get used to doing it of yourself without something in front of you. And it's such a hard thing to do. The other day I was posing with a paintbrush like a loser just to have photos of me holding a paintbrush. I felt so stupid, but I'm like, just do it. Just do it.
yes.
Because now I
do it.
have
Nobody
that in
gets
case
to-
I need it. I don't have to use it, but it's there.
No, it's really smart. I know like the whole joke of like everything is content and you gotta film it all, but it is true, like using little tidbits of how you create. I think people find that so fascinating if they're not in the industry. And like even just in terms of being on the consumer side, if I can see how somebody does it, I'm like way more stoked to buy it for some reason. I don't know.
They put their blood, sweat, and tears in it, and you see that,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's cool. Being on Instagram is super cool.
I agree. No, it's the best people. Like that's where I met everybody here. And, it's the way that we all connect. And it is, like you said, it is funny because we are on that outside view. I started finding myself making content for makers and I'm like, stop it. You want to sell your art. Stop making content for makers. I'm like, and that's why I'm trying to have a more strict do that on YouTube approach now, because I've fallen into a trap of because I love all of you guys so much. I started making for you and I'm like, no, this is for people to get intrigued and want to buy stuff.
Yes, you're so right. And I keep reminding myself of that too. Like even, when I pump up my fellow, friends that I follow, I'm not buying their stuff. Like, Les, I love your work. I'm not going to buy a sign from you because I'll make signs.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
you bet your ass I'm going to like and share and save and comment on all the shit because I know that my little post helps yours gets out to the world. And, I love that makers acknowledge that. And that's why our community is so cool because, all these people are the same. They're not going to buy my stuff ever. But, they don't realize their likes are helping my stuff get out to people who will buy.
Yeah, no, exactly. Gets you noticed.
Yes, totally.
Like we say the same thing. If you kind of trust that recommendation a little bit more because it's coming from somebody that you follow already and you love. So you will check them out. Like I usually will. If I see somebody share, I'm like, oh, let me click this.
Yes,
Although I don't want more
I
people
know.
to
Same.
follow, but there's just so many good people out there. It's hard.
Yeah, I'm getting way more picky and choosy. I won't lie.
No,
Like,
you have to.
how many more scroll saw workers can I follow?
Hmm.
And there's a lot now too, right?
Yes.
And
that's
everybody's
big.
so talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love promoting other makers and stuff too. But one of the things too, and Sam heard about this, I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but like
Mhm.
sometimes too, you have to be careful of who you are recommending too,
Hmm.
because it can reflect back on you as well.
Yeah.
Right. So before, when I first started, I would be like, who are people around me? If I can't make something, I'll just send it to whoever.
Yep.
But then some of those people didn't,
Come through for
up
you.
to the expectation of like maybe what I shared. So now
Mhm.
I'm a lot more picky and choosy of who I'll actually recommend people to too. Cause it's like, it's crazy how much weight you can carry. Like we're all just like sitting in our basements or our shops, whatever. Like
Yeah.
we don't realize that like our recommendations, somebody's going to be like, well, I trust them because I followed them on Instagram. So I'm going to go and they said this
Trust that
person's
person.
good too.
Yep.
So before it's like, yeah, I feel like it's a more trusting community now too, because we've kind of vetted out who we actually trust and who we don't too.
Mhm.
So it's cool that way.
Yeah,
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
build relationships
so
with
right.
people. Mhm.
Absolutely. This is still a social media platform, and social is the biggest part of it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Is
you
that?
guys. Oh, good.
Oh, go ahead, Tiff.
I just say I have my go-tos. Like there are certain people I know, like Sam from Uncharted Customs. I'm not afraid to call it out. I send everyone to him usually. If I can't take it, I'm like, this
What
guy's
does
gonna
he
get
do?
it done. He has everything. He's got the scroll saw, he has the laser, and he has the CNC. So I know he's capable of doing
Yeah.
anything that I can do. So
Nice.
I'm like, there's my equal counterpart. Go see this guy. Like he doesn't hand paint. It is with spray paint, but still the quality is there,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
good to have.
yeah. Someone you
Well,
trust.
no, I was just
Totally.
I was gonna ask Sam, so is your whole business Instagram? Like, is that where you sell from? Like, do you do anything, like, did you do Etsy or anything like that?
Yeah, so I am exclusively 100% Instagram.
Instagram.
In fact, when people, like for example, people from the gym I go to, oh, Sam, I want you to make me a sign. I like start cringing because I'm like, fuck, now that means you're going to email me. And I do not like being emailed. I like to be DM'd. It is all there. So yeah, I'm
So the
exclusively
opposite
there.
of me. I'm like, give me that sweet email.
Really?
I direct
find
everyone to email
chains,
too.
Yeah.
yeah,
DMs get
but email
lost.
chains are not very organized, I find.
Play with your settings, woman. So much easier.
I like emails
Damn.
too, because I can just leave them there.
Mhm.
Address them at a later date if I need to.
Right?
Okay, that's also fair. Maybe I will change my ways. I had a website for months just sitting dead, a Shopify site.
Mhm.
And I tried to build it so many times, but I'm just like, how do I make this a user-friendly site? And it didn't feel like it. I felt like people still had to reach out to me. So I'm like, just reach out to me. And I'm more than busy enough with Instagram, so I don't need to, utilize a fee service or anything like that at this point.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's
so that's
good.
where
That's
I
why-
am right now.
Yeah, that's why social media can be so powerful too, right? Like you can, and Instagram's trying to promote that as well. Like
Mhm.
you can literally run your entire business from Instagram, which is,
Yeah,
and be successful too, right? That's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, there are fears, what people say, losing their accounts. Leslie, I've watched you accidentally lose yours, and
Yeah.
it's scary, but I also feel like, well, if it goes away, then shit, like that sucks. But at the same time, like this is how it brings me joy.
Mhm.
Other ways it wouldn't bring me joy. Leslie and I have joked about this. Honestly, each sign I make, I am so attached to. And the thought of making one for somebody who like just ordered it and doesn't give a shit about who I am, and like, I don't know, like that hurts my feelings a lot.
I understand. It is always interesting to not know where your art goes sometimes.
Yeah. So
Well, and it's nice to have that connection with your customer, right? Like they have to DM you in order to order. So you're talking to them and figuring out what they want and stuff.
True.
And like, yeah. Even though I have a website, I still like go back and forth via email. And a lot of the times I end up in DMs with people because they find me on Instagram too. And like a lot of people apologize and like, I'm sorry, I'm messaging you so much. And I'm like, no, like message me because I want to make it exactly like you want it. So if we have to go back and forth a bunch, like I'm more than happy to, because it's that personal connection too, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think the three of us are very much so in alignment in that respect. Our stuff is so custom and specific. And I know, Tiff, you do put out pieces that your CNC can cut over and over and over.
Yeah.
But you're not just selling that to like, you know, some schmuck who never met you. Like they found you somehow. They're not like just Googling it and finding it. They found
That's
you.
true. Yeah. They go from my Instagram to my website to order 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Or
so
now
like
TikTok
part of that,
now. That's where I got that big sale was TikTok. Yeah.
no way.
Yeah. I've been forcing myself to post there and one went viral and that's where I got the order from. Yeah.
I have been harassing Sam, and I even gave you homework, Sam, and you have not done it. I told Sam I said every time she posts a reel, she needs to post the same thing to TikTok.
That's what I've been doing. That's exactly what I've been doing.
Man, because I feel way too old for TikTok.
Just do it.
I'm pretty sure I'm older than you.
No, you're definitely younger than me.
We're the same age.
Are we gonna play the age game? I'm 40. I don't mind saying it.
Oh, Tiff's the oldest son.
I'm 36.
30.
Almost 30.
Oh, you're almost 37?
Well, I'll be at 37 in January. So not almost, but like,
yeah. So
I'm
you're
more than
36
and a half. I'm 86. Yeah.
I'm an 85 baby, and my birthday is in 7 days.
Oh my God, you're so old.
So Tiff went viral on TikTok and she's 40. So
that's true.
Oh shit. Okay.
Get
learning new things.
Well, because that's when you were saying
you can do it.
Yeah,
when you were saying Tiff was showing up on your explore page, when I go on TikTok, Tiff is always on my For You page on TikTok.
Oh, how cool is that?
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So get on it.
I know. I will. I have to. It's just like, I don't know. I just have such an attachment to Instagram that
just ghost and post. Post and ghost.
Post.
That is
post and ghost.
Yeah. That's what
exactly
I do.
How it feels.
I don't go on there socially. I don't scroll on TikTok. So I apologize to everybody that I don't follow probably because I'm never on there. I literally just post and then I go back to Instagram, which is my cozy little home.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, maybe I can do what you do. I can just post it there and then run away super fast.
Exactly.
I check back once in a while and answer a couple things and then I move on.
So Tiff, did that big order, did they can they message you on TikTok or did they have to come to your Insta? Or?
As long as they're following you, they can message you. But you can't
I see.
You can't message them unless you follow them like originally. It's weird. You have to follow them to message back and forth.
Okay, so you've got to commit.
Yeah. Like he told me in his order what his name was, so I did hop over there and follow him just so I could be like, "Thank you for my biggest order ever," you know.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Les, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I actually like TikTok because of that, because I'm not a huge fan of. I get enough DMs on Instagram to keep me busy that I didn't really want another platform where I had constantly had to be responding to people.
Yep.
And the nice thing about TikTok is like I've had a few videos do pretty good, and I have a link in my bio that you can link to anything. Like you could put a link tree that would go to your Instagram. So then people go to my link and then they email me because it goes to my website. So they just fill out my email form and then I can respond to them that way.
Yep.
So I find it a bit easier to manage that way too. Like it's not a community, like sorry, TikTok, but it's not
it's not for me either.
Yeah. I don't like, I've met some people on TikTok, but then I've become friends with them on Instagram. Like it's, I don't talk to people on TikTok. So yeah,
Same.
You should try it though.
Okay. You know what? Talking it out loud, it feels like a safer thing that I can do. Maybe I can get my feet in.
And then while you're at it, you go to YouTube and you post it as a short.
Oh man.
I should
Okay.
I've
One
been
step
doing
at a
that too.
time.
I've been doing that lately, and I'm like, just commit, just do it, just do it.
Really? You're posting non-informative content to YouTube too?
As shorts, yeah.
Really?
To keep it active and keep it recommending to people, so it's always out there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're so smart.
Make it once, share it everywhere.
Yeah, totally. And you know what, Tiff, I did hear you saying that kind of stuff in previous podcasts that you were doing with other makers. And it makes sense. You've already created the content. Why not throw it everywhere?
My next goal is putting it on Pinterest, but like I'm not there yet. I can't will myself. I'm already doing enough. I'm like, that's just too much. But that is where I want to go next. It's like, now go pin it.
You're working really hard still though.
Oh,
so hopefully
I'm
you
working
can find
harder.
more balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but working for yourself feels like a different kind of hard, right?
Oh, it's so nice. Like, I mean, Leslie, you do this all day with having the kids home and stuff too. Like, it's got to feel so rewarding, like to just know that you're bringing in money and, you know, sponsorships and you're living your life, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it's like we're all moms, right? So it's that balance of like pursuing what we want to do and being successful in what we want to do, but also having that why we're doing it too. So it's cool. But like Sam, for you, like I know you said like you picked it up through COVID and stuff. Like, is your long-term plan to be able to keep doing it? Like you got the laser and stuff. Like, are you trying to build towards like this is going to be a full-time type thing, or you just want to keep it part-time?
Yeah. So right now it's going to stay part-time. So when I was in Ontario, I was a registered massage therapist. I was an RMT for 10 years. I gave up my RMT number. So I retired my number in Ontario when we moved to Alberta because it's just a lot of work, a lot of money to relicense in this province.
Gotcha.
And with Tom, my husband, his work, he was traveling extensively. And we just decided that, you know, it's better that I stay home. I'm around. You make the money, you work, you leave when you have to, you know, it's all on you. So like, let's just make this as easy as possible on him. So that's kind of where we were. And, you know, COVID shut us down. So I obviously took on more of this, like the hobby became more
a hustle
of a thing. Yeah. And then, so my long-term goal, well, it's not even long-term. September, my little guy starts school, and in our province, he would only be doing part-time school for kindergarten. So we put him in a private school. It's like so that he's
good
in
for
full-time.
you.
Yeah, and like my Woolly Petals has been paying for his daycare, and which is so fucking expensive here. It's insane. And it's going to be paying for school. So, you know, me and my robot are going to like hit this hard. So I'm really excited about that because, well, I'm excited, but I'm also horrified because, you know, you can be excited about your business doing incredibly well and you have, you know, 30 orders of people waiting, and then your child gets sick. Well, guess what? That's on me because I'm still the main caregiver.
Yeah.
That's what the deal is in this household, right? So like I always have these reservations of, you know, I can't take too much on because I'm nervous.
Yeah. But yeah, when school comes, that's going to be a whole new world. And that's why I waited until they were in full-time school to quit too. Because mine are 6 now. So they're finally in school and I'm like,
What a game changer, eh? Yeah. Les, you just wait.
I say, how old
One day.
How old are your kids now?
So my oldest is 6, but my youngest is 3. So she's going to start preschool in September. She's going to go, it's just 2 mornings a week. But even then, that's going to be like an additional 6 to 8 hours a week that I'm going to have. So yeah, I'm still going to be like the part-time for another year or so. And then I'll be in the same position as Sam, like, oh shit, like now it's going to be like full speed ahead. But you know what? It's the same thing, Sam. Like I'll still be mom. So if the kids are sick, I'm going to have to drop everything. So timelines for me, like when people say your deadline, I honestly say 12 weeks for everything. And sometimes I'm done in like 2 weeks and they're like, what? But I just give myself that time because it's like, if something happens, at least you're not expecting it tomorrow, you know?
Yes.
So
totally, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's always going to be important for me too. Like if you're in a rush for this, I
I'm not the
can't
one for
guarantee
you.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Move on.
Yeah.
That takes some getting used to, though, to be able to do that yourself. And it's also nice, though, now, like when your kids go to school or your kid, it's going to be amazing because you can actually like make goals and actually attack things and not be interrupted until they get, they threw up at school and you get that call. But, besides that, it's like you can actually have a little bit of a plan. I mean, it'd probably go to the wind, but still, it's nice. Like I've been enjoying that until, this whole COVID thing.
I know. Well, I was going to ask you, Tiff, with your kids being in school, mind you, they're starting school soon, right?
Yeah, in August 30th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at the end of the month. With this whole COVID thing, every time Ben has a runny nose or something, he's home, which is destroying me. Like it has been so many days where he's home.
Yeah.
And like that's the whole problem too, it's like, yeah, he'll be in school full time, but will he?
They had 2 weeks left of I always enroll my kids in summer school, so more time away. So 2 weeks of school was missed because of this COVID. So the last 2 weeks of school, they've been home, and I was banking on only having them home with me for like a week and a half by myself because my in-laws come over because they're awesome. So we're on now the week 3, and I'm so not used to being the caregiver all day. Like I'm used to having the in-laws up there, so I'm experiencing it, ladies. I feel your pain. I'm just not used to it.
I had tough, man.
I had the privilege for a while, and now it's like because of COVID, they're not coming over because they don't want it. I know the world now.
Yeah. I love my kid so much more when he's not around all the time.
Me too. So thank you for coming on. Thank you, Leslie, for joining. You asked awesome questions, by the way. I just got to be able to just sit here and coast. It was nice.
Yeah, no, this was
awesome. This was so amazing. It was so nice.
I want to do a part 2.
We'll just sit here all night. I'm not sure where this went because I feel like it was kind of a blur and I forgot that we're doing something relatively professional. And I'm just like,
I like that.
Shit.
It's supposed to be shooting the shit. That's why it's maker conversations. See? Yeah.
And you didn't need to be nervous at all. You're like a natural pro.
Oh, shucks. Well, you guys made it so easy.
I told her to have a drink before she came on, but I don't know if she's a drinker.
Yeah. No, COVID left me with the gift of like asthma bullshit. So
that's right.
Yeah.
You're saying you have to wear a face mask all the time now.
In my workshop, yeah, like I'm sucking on candies because I'm like, I hope I don't start coughing. Ugh. But it's all right.
Yay,
no, it's a good trick.
It is.
Yeah.
I also partake in the cough drop trick. I have a cup over here for the podcast. If I have like a dry throat, I'm like, hold on.
Sweet. Oh, Tiff, I hope they come to you soon. Like I wanted you to have those flowers for the podcast.
I had a package on my doorstep today and I thought it was yours. And I got so excited and I opened it up, but I was, I was still excited because I bought stuff, but I was like, oh no. Cause I was like, I'm going to be interviewing her later and I'm getting these flowers. This is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally got to psych out today. Yeah.
Oh man.
Just know my level of excitement when I was cutting. It said New Jersey on it and it ruined it for me. I was like, no.
You're like pretty sure Sam's way more north than that.
Yeah. I say Jersey South for me.
Oh yeah, right. Tiff, when I came up with these flowers, I was like, oh Leslie, like, do you think she'll like these? I didn't even know that Leslie was the host.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. It was so exciting to find that out. Well, Tiff was trying to keep it a surprise for me. I'm like, I can't. You have to tell me.
Well, because Leslie asked if she could talk about it, and I go, oh, I don't know if I told Sam or not. So that's why I messaged Sam and I go, did I tell you who the co-host is? And she's like, no, but now you have to. And she like kept on messaging me in all caps, like demanding that I tell. So that's why I was like,
secret. It was hard.
Yeah.
She kept talking about how nervous he was, and she's like, I don't know who's cold. What do I do? And I was like, you'll be fine.
You're gonna be just fine.
I think I'm the least intimidating person.
No, you really are. You were made for making these kind of things. Not to mention you have like the sexiest voice ever. When
Tell me
just
about
like
it.
hearing you, like, oh man, listen to that.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that episode, and go check out Sam if you don't know her already. She's a really, really fun person, and I think you'll love her. Otherwise, just want to say thanks for listening and have a great day.